Gravel is finding its foothold in cycling now. We're starting to do a little bit of it because it opens up some really cool opportunities to build some really cool bikes. Today we're looking at the two bikes from Specialized. So we've got the Crux on your right, which is my bike, and then this one, which I want to be my bike, which is the Diverge. Two kind of different approaches to gravel, but both very relevant. So you've got your Diverge. This is quite new. It's been out a couple of months. Kind of like the adventure-y, comfy bike, but there's a lot of use cases where this would be the faster bike. Crux is a little bit more traditional, snappier geometry. It's lighter, but it's a bit more of a kind of racy position on it. Slightly less tyre clearance as well, so on the whole, slightly less comfortable. So the Diverge being the slightly more exciting bike, it's got a little bit more tech. It's kind of built around the Future Shock suspension, so you've got a little bit of a bounce underneath the stem, which takes a lot of buzz out of your hands. That's quite a key thing on this bike. You can ride it for a bit longer without being uncomfortable, without getting beaten to pieces. You get a flexi seat post as well, which can fit on the Crux, but that keeps your kind of back end comfy. And then the crucial bit on this bike, I would say, is the clearance of big tyres. So we've fitted some mountain bike tyres to this bike. They're 2.25 inch, so they're massive. Take a lot of the bumps out. So around near us, there's lots of bridleways, not so much traditional gravel. This is definitely the bike because the tyres are just going to absorb those bumps. The Crux, you are limited to, they say 47mm tyre clearance. You can fit a little bit bigger if you want, but on your head be it. These tyres are 45mm, they measure up 47 on these wheels. It's about right. Other thing, the Diverge, a few more mounts. You've got mounts down the fork so you can put bags on if you want to carry stuff long days. And you've also got a swap box in the frame so you can put bits and bobs in there as well. All of that you don't get on the Crux. Crux being focused on basically being lightweight. So between these two bikes, they are pretty similar spec to be fair. They're both SRAM Force 13 speed, which is a fantastic group set. You got good range and then nice small gaps between the gears, so it's very, very usable. This bike's 7 and a bit kilograms, this bike's 8 and a bit kilograms. It is a bit of a bigger bike, but let's just say there's about a kilo in it. So I'm in an R-in over one of these bikes, and I like my Crux. There's a lot of places where this is the faster bike. The gravel racing I've done this year, albeit limited, it was on smooth terrain, so the little tyres weren't too much of a limiting factor, but the fact that it's really, really light was kind of quite beneficial. There's one race next year where I want this bike because those big tyres are going to be really, really handy because you can still get this bike quite a bit lighter than a mountain bike. So where this year I used my Epic, I got it down to 10 kilos. This bike I could probably get down to 8 kilos and it'd be just as good, where this bike wasn't quite as comfy basically on the bumpy stuff. And I think for most kind of gravel riding, if you're going from a road bike to a gravel bike, then the Diverge is probably the one. If you are going from a mountain bike to a gravel bike, then the Diverge is also probably the one, to be honest with you. If you're a weight weenie, fill your boots, have the Crux. Crux is kind of derived from a cyclocross bike as well. So the previous generation, it was complete cyclocross race. This bike still kind of similar geometry to that, so you can, I've been using this as a cyclocross bike for the last few weeks, putting really narrow tyres on, and it doesn't look too out of place, whereas this bike is probably a little bit long for some of the tight turns you get in cyclocross, but then in the real world that's going to ride a lot better because you're a lot more stable in the sort of more flowing corners, up at speed, that kind of thing. So I mentioned this is the Pro model. There's no S-Works in Diverge. What's the point? So you've got a SRAM Force drivetrain, well, whole group set. This is the 1x13. It uses the direct mount mechs. It's really stiff. The shifting's really, really fast, really, really smooth, really, really accurate. It's absolutely brilliant. The range is 1046, but it's because it's 13 gears. Right down the bottom here, it's like a road cassette, but up here it's like a mountain bike cassette. So it is the best group set ever. They put a 42 tooth ring on. With the big tyres, that's a massive gear. Got a power meter as standard as well, which is good. We like numbers. Carbon finishing kit. This seat post has got quite a lot of flex. And you also get a lockout on the Future Shock on the Pro model, which is quite nice. You twist this dial and it just firms it up a bit. So if you're on the road, if you're sprinting, that kind of thing, do that. And it's not going to bounce around all over the place. My favourite bit probably about this group set is the brakes. The levers are really, really nice. You've got little extra buttons on the inside of the hood, and you can program them to your bike computer to change screens. You can program them to do like shifts, or if you've got a wireless dropper post, you can program them to that. So there's all sorts of playing around you can do with that. So that's really cool. Really nice colour. It's got carbon wheels as well. They're actually really light wheels. They've only got 350 hubs, which are, you know, they're good hubs, but they're not, it's not a £2 wheel set. They're quite a lot lighter than these Zips, which I bought. So I feel a little bit stupid, but hey ho, there you are. We fitted these tyres kind of aftermarket, just mainly to show that you can. These are the Maxxis Aspen ST, so it's like the fastest rolling cross-country mountain bike tyre you can get, which actually is really finding its place now in the kind of gravel market on those bikes that have got clearance for it, because it is absolutely brilliant. I think if I get one of these, it's gonna have these tyres on, because they are like the perfect gravel tyre for rough conditions. So I guess where we're at is that they're both really, really good bikes and they've both got their place. And it's really hard to choose between the two, to be fair. So enjoy that. And I guess I'll continue to screw over the idea of getting one of these as well.